Welcome back to Shock's Talks. I'm Shakti, and this is your anomalous study hall. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about a fun novel that I just finished reading by Dan Brown. It's called The Secret of Secrets. I read it on my Kindle, so I don't have a book cover to show you today. And I'm also going to share with you the next book on my reading list, which is going back to the research side of what we do here. On this season, The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, I'm kind of toggling back and forth between fun, fictional, creative works that help us to examine our anomalous studies from a more imaginative angle to kind of loosen up our grip on needing to decide what's real, what's not real, and what does it all mean, and just once in a while letting ourselves just expand into an imaginative headspace that allows us to consider the material in a different way. And then we'll go back to some of the experiencer accounts and remote viewer research and more on Psi. Alien Goddess is definitely up next after this remote viewing book that I'm going to read. That is by Dr. Joanna Kuyawa, and I'm very excited about that book too. So the videos I wanted to tell you about this week are mostly from Psicoactivo. Pavel did a really interesting one on UFO reverse engineering and how there's a new EFT that's actually being launched soon. Many companies are excited to ramp up their technology based on what they've learned from anomalous tech, basically. And then he also did a video where he was talking about the search for the new Ingo Swann, and this was really relevant to the story that I just finished reading, because what he's saying is that ever since that time in the 70s when they had a couple natural psychics and these really powerful people working in these secret programs to develop intelligence gathering through Psi, we haven't really had a lot of those superstars, it seems like. And even in other research that I've done and videos that I've watched about the out-of-body experience, it seems very similar. You have your big names out on the scene, people that talk about what they've done, and lots of other people on the internet sharing their experiences, but it doesn't seem like we have a lot of those big superstars in terms of the people who can do repeatable at-will out-of-body. I mean, Tom Campbell is definitely one. Darius J. Wright claims to be very adept at the out-of-body experience. You also have Luis Minero, who wrote the book Demystifying the Out-of-Body Experience, but even he says that he can't do it on demand all the time. He's someone who had spontaneous experiences when he was a teenager, and then he learned how to cultivate and develop his ability to go out-of-body at will as an adult. But even now, he says that, it doesn't always happen. The conditions have to be right, and it takes a lot of discipline and practice over time. He also said recently, I watched a video of his recently that was actually from like 3 years ago, and then another video that was from 10 years ago. But in those videos, he was talking about how when he trains people, he gives them all kinds of different techniques because everyone has their own way of achieving the out-of-body experience, which I found really comforting, because sometimes you learn from a certain teacher and you feel like if I'm not getting it their way, I'm never going to get it at all. But the truth is there are a million different ways to do it, and sometimes we just have to find our own path. So for me, I believe that I will find my own way because I've had little glimpses and little accidental moments of slipping out of my body, but I haven't yet been able to create that experience at will in a repeatable way and have a more extended out-of-body experience. And I'm very interested in that. So I'm trying all kinds of different techniques, and one of the practices that I'm doing to... Sorry, I have cats playing with paper bags right now in the background. If you hear the rustling, I apologize. I can't stop them. One of the things that I'm trying to do to increase the probability of an out-of-body experience is I'm really practicing my remote viewing, because this is a Psi skill that has measurable results. Jupiter, can you be calm, please? Please. No. Oh, God. Okay, so remote viewing is a practice where you can get results, and it's something that I'm doing to develop my commitment to these goals that I have, and also to increase my Psi abilities overall. What we've all been learning lately is that if you're good at any one Psi ability, it's a lot easier to develop another. So the next book on my list is Natural Remote Viewing by John Noble. Now, I can't remember why I picked this out. There was something that I saw or listened to that drew me to this book. And every time I read a remote viewing book, it gives me new ideas and new insights, and sometimes kind of helps point me in the right direction of like, here's an exercise to try, or here's a different way that this person does it. So I'll let you know what I learn from this book. It says, A Practical Guide to the Mental Martial Art of Self-Discovery. And it's a second edition. So I think this will be really good. We're going to talk about The Secret of Secrets now. This is the book I just finished by Dan Brown. It was long. It was a book that I picked up for my vacation. It was pretty cool. And big spoiler alert here, but the secret of secrets that this title is referring to is that consciousness is non-local and death is an illusion. So this is really at the heart of everything that we study here on Shocks Talks. It's at the very center of many anomalous experiences. It's at the very center of the theories of consciousness that inspire me the most. And it's also something that, when understood in a true, deep, and personal way, can completely change the way we live our lives. So for me, this is like a fun topic for a story. You have things like secret underground bases and secret science and the CIA and different world governments and people stealing knowledge from other people and exploiting unknowing patients and doing secret testing on people. And you have advanced technology, and you have things that expand upon the ideas like neural link, brain implants. And we know from declassified documents that the CIA has done all of this and more. And one of the things that Richard Dolan was talking about recently was what is being left out from the sanitized history. And he's talking about UFO history, and he is specifically referring to encounters and the experiencer stories. And it kind of made me think about this other side of the anomalous coin, which is what's being left out from the sanitized history of Psi. And what we know is you have like the public statements like, oh yeah, Stargate was broken apart and defunded because it didn't work, when we all know that it did work and it obviously evolved into other things. This story, The Secret of Secrets, is exploring one possible version of how Stargate could have evolved. And I think that's really fun to explore. And if you're an intuitive person who wants to practice your own remote viewing of an esoteric target, you can use a story like this to help you decide what maybe did or didn't happen after Stargate was shut down, quote unquote. And so you can listen to this story or read this story and think to yourself, that sounds true, that sounds not true, that sounds probable, that's probably not something that happened. I could see this happening, I could see that happening. We do have a lot of like money going into these, secret underground programs and these black programs. I wonder what they're doing with all that money. This is somebody's version of letting their imagination run wild and explore some of those possibilities. But it's actually rooted in a lot of research, so it was fun to read because he refers to real names in science and consciousness in noetic studies, real names in CIA, and he even refers to Ingo Swann in this book. He talks about different programs throughout the years and how they evolved. So it's a really fun story to compare to the research that we've done here on Shocks Talks. So I do recommend The Secret of Secrets as part of our anomalous study hall if you just want to read something really adventurous, kind of cheesy, kind of packed full of some really awkward product placement too, which is like, is this a thing that Dan Brown does that I just had forgotten about because I haven't read anything since the Da Vinci Code? He does a lot of like, it's almost like reading a magazine. Like he'll plug a certain designer or a perfume or a coffee. It's just really funny to me. I'm sure he's getting paid for that. So, it's kind of cheesy, but it does cover a lot of topics of interest. So I do recommend it. Next up is going to be natural remote viewing. If you want to read along with me, this is what I'll be starting today or tomorrow. And before we close out, I just want to do one quick energy exercise together, because something that I've noticed lately is that if I'm feeling really energetically distressed, actually sending energy outward has relieved me from my suffering more quickly than me trying to work on my own energy. And this kind of like hit me after some trial and error, but it was really, really effective. So I just wanted to offer it up to you, because we're living through a super intense time. We have, horrible things going on all around the world. People are still suffering in Palestine. We have people being held in ICE detention centers. We have the Epstein files being released and more disturbing content coming forward that is really triggering anyone and everyone who has been victimized or wronged in their life, and just creating a lot of fear for people. So in order to calm that within the self, the thing that I found most helpful is to actually send energy to the places where the pain is the greatest. And by so doing, it actually calms the whole system and therefore calms my energy. Again, this is as opposed to trying to calm my nervous system alone. I've found that if I just focus on me, it doesn't resolve as quickly. So let's try this together. We're just going to do a very brief energy exercise, a sending of energy. So just sit comfortably. Your eyes can be open or closed. It doesn't matter. And just start to feel the boundary of your body, and imagine within your skin and within your whole body a very potent and powerful energy. And then think of yourself as a kind of like a fireman's hose, and we are now connecting to the fire hydrant. So that source of pure positive energy, just pure neutral life energy, is that source that we're plugging into. And now we're taking our hose, which is our self, and we have a huge amount of energy flowing through us now. It's just pushing out in every direction. And we're going to focus it with our mind and direct it towards whatever cause we want to direct it towards. You can pick yours, or you can just say to everyone who needs it, and just start sending it in that direction. So I'm going to send it to specifically anyone and everyone who is feeling hopelessness, distress, unsafe, anyone who is feeling wronged, afraid. And I'm also sending it to everyone that is causing this trauma, to the people that are so lost that they are creating more pain for others. I'm sending them the energy too, because we need to heal all the sides of this. And we're just sending. Try to feel the flow. See if it has a feeling quality. Is it like a light or a water? Maybe it's something more heavy. Sometimes it feels like honey. But the source is infinite, so it's just, remember, you're the hose and you're plugged into that ultimate fire hydrant. So this doesn't even have to come from you. It's just flowing through you and out. And this is about focusing our attention on one specific intent. So we're sending energy. If your mind wanders away, bring it back to feeling the energy. Notice any sensations. And now you can let the energy slow down a little. And now let it stop and just feel the inside of yourself again, the energy that is within your own field. And now we're going to let ourselves receive energy. So from that same source, let it flow into you, into your field. Your field is your life, the people in your life, your home, your job, your body, your health. Feel that golden or blue or white or sparkling black energy, however you like to visualize it. Feel it just rushing through your whole field. And it's almost like, it's kind of like crystal clear water cleaning out a pipe that was clogged with some kind of debris. As the energy flows, it's picking up anything that was stuck, that was clogging the works, and it's pulling it right out with it. So let it keep flowing through, and maybe you feel it coming in through the top of your head, flowing down and out, every pore, pulling out with it discomfort, dis-ease, confusion, negative thought forms, any kind of sticky, gross attachments, flushing out. And now let the energy come up through the soles of your feet. It's flowing up, 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 and out the top of your head, going in the opposite direction, pushing out anything that was clogging your own field, your own ability to be clear, present, grounded, peaceful, and regulated. And now just let the energy flow out in every direction like you're a bright, shining sun. And now you can slow that down and just return to stillness. Okay, learning how to focus our attention on something of our choosing is step one to being able to go out and use your power in reality to make change. So we have to harness our own awareness and our own intentions, and working with energy can really lead to some actual physical matter reality changes. I've seen it happen. I know that it's real. So for me, this is a basic kind of exercise to help me to remember that there is power in where my attention and energy flow. Just try it out and see what happens. You can use this technique for all kinds of different things in your life. You could send energy to an injury. You could send it to your immune system. You can send it to a broken heart. You can send it to a problem in your house or your car. You can really send energy anywhere, and you'll be surprised at what kinds of solutions can come as a result of sending energy. I hope that you can find some peace, and I'll see you next time on Shock Talks.